Military oven cleaning in 1971. A half-century ago, I was in the Air Force for a spell, and of course, basic training was awful. One of the famous banes of the cadet life is KP, or kitchen patrol, being chosen to spend a day doing grunt work in one of the base chow halls. This happened to me, but with a twist. Between casual Vietnam-era chatter and clowning around with fellow KP victims in what was basically a welcome break from routine, I was managing to have a pretty good time, which drove the sergeant crazy. He would occasionally interrupt to give me a harder job or separate me from a friend, at last assigning me to the dreaded pots and pans workstation. In Texas summer heat, wielding hot water sprayers and big brushes to scrub greasy cookware involves much sweltering, and within moments I was soaked with sweat in my heavy cotton fatigues. Of course, I still managed to have fun. How else does one cope? Suddenly, Roberts, get over here. I have a job for you. Yes, sir. He opened a small oven that was in desperate need of cleaning. There were deeply baked-in spills, black and crusty. Clean this oven. I wanted to shine like that table. He pointed at a stainless work surface nearby and handed me a bucket with a hard abrasive pumice scrubbing block. I got to work, noting that I was starting to scratch the enamel on the door. Sir? You really wanted to look shiny like that stainless table? This enamel. How many times do I have to tell you? Roberts? You deaf or what? Just shut up and do the job, will you? He turned and walked away. I got back to work, gradually chewing through the enamel and down to bare steel on the door, detailing around the edges. This was not easy, and there were parts near the hinge that were impossible to reach. Exhausted and sore-muscled, I was just starting on the interior when the civilian chef who ran the kitchen noticed what I was doing. Her voice cut through the cacophony. Honey, what are you doing to my oven? In the ensuing moment of frozen silence, you could hear a distant boiling pot and conversation out in the dining hall. I put on my best stupid voice. Well, ma'am, that sergeant over there told me to make it look like this table here. I pointed. I'm going to kill him. Moments later, she was towering over the sergeant. All I could hear from him was, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Yes, I understand. He glared over at me, but retreated. I always felt bad about the damage to the oven, but honestly, that was worth it.